All right, it is Friday, and I am going to actually head into Anchorage today. I'm going to be meeting Derek later this afternoon after he gets out of work. And then there's a couple errands I'm going to be running along the way. But it is a gorgeous day. I was up early. I took our grandson to school this morning, and it was about negative 22 is what my thermostat said. And it has warmed up. It's about negative 5 right now. But it is a beautiful day, not any clouds to be seen, and I'm going to bring you along for the ride. So I know I said it was about negative 5. I just got into the vehicle, and I guess the sunshine makes it feel a little bit warmer, but this is what my car is reading right now, negative 16, and it's not quite 11 o'clock in the morning, but we're going to get ready to go. It's going to be a beautiful drive. So we stopped along the way. I needed to get some more gas before heading all the way into Anchorage, and gas today is about $3.49 a gallon. Don't know what it is in your area, but if you have gas that's substantially cheaper or gas that's substantially more expensive, leave it in the comments. Let me know how much you guys are paying for gas right now. All right, so I am in Anchorage, and I just came downtown. The Iditarod actually starts in another week, and so right now we have what's called for Rondy leading up to the Iditarod, and there's been a couple races that have taken off since then. Today, the world champion, I believe it's the world champions, the championship's leaving right now, so I'm going to go downtown and we're going to take a look.
Two, one, go! Marvin B. Cochran from North Pole, Alaska, 70 years of age and retired truck driver, sponsored by Mountain Movers of Alaska. Woo! And also by Mountain Movers. Brought 22 dogs from
Woo!
thanks to his dad, who was his hero, Don.
So in another week, we'll have the beginning of the Iditarod taken off here in Anchorage. And then the following day, the actual takeoff will take place in Willow, where we took a video from last weekend. Today, I believe this is the World Championships that are going through today. I hope you guys enjoy.
30 seconds. $15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
When you bounce, you're not tired.
Woo-hoo! Woo!
Mike Parker, rookie from Eagle. $30 seconds.
Generally, we've gone through distance. Look at her.
15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I stepped in here to the Iditarod headquarters and for Rondy, and there's lots of goodies you can have in here. They have a little bit of display set up. We've been in here actually quite a few times, but mushing is such a huge part of Alaskan culture and tradition. Just got some great things. All right, so I just came out of the Fur Rondy shop, and they have a little bit of a display in there that I showed a little bit of. Right now, this is the world champion mushers that are going on today, and I've been able to watch quite a few of the dog sled teams take off, and they're leaving just within a couple minutes of each other, and then they have today's the first heat, and then they'll have some tomorrow and some Sunday as well go through.
It's getting damn cold. Not freezing.
Dark, it's a little lighting that makes kind of a humming noise, and then we're like driving to the health center, and then cross through the road on a slippery, and then you know these traditions are
It's all good. So I'm in town for the World Championships for the mushing sled dog race. Got underfoot today, right around noon, and it's about 12:30 right now. Right now there's a little bit of break between the teams that are running, but I'm definitely in my element. I just absolutely love this. I've followed quite a few mushers over the years, even before coming to Alaska, so this has been great. And downtown, a lot of the buildings have gorgeous artwork everywhere. It's very cold out. It's about -15 right now, so it's definitely chilly. And there's quite a few
And
people.
we have our first team to the
This is
gas
awesome.
line. Greg Taylor went through in 34.
Hello. So today I am putting together some beef jerky, or prepping. I got an eye of round that I'm getting ready to, well, I'm in the process of taking all the fat out, and this will keep. We'll keep the beef fat. We're going to render this down into tallow, probably after I get a little bit more, because it takes quite a bit of fat to get any amount of tallow from. So we're going to save that, and we'll get some good liquid gold out of it, some beef tallow out of that. But we'll just keep plugging away. We get this, get all the fat stripped off this and cut it down into little sliver type pieces, and we got a dehydrator. We're going to stick it in for about 8 hours. After I stick it in the brine, marinade, whatever you want to call it, with different, we got some Blueberry Bourbon BBQ sauce I like to add to it, and some other things. So we'll do that. I'll show that process here in a little bit.
And what cut of meat are you using this
Side
for?
round. This is not something you really want to try to make a roast with for your Sunday supper. It's a very dense. It's basically the calf meat, the leg meat of the cow, not baby cow calf, but I mean it's very dense, and it will dry out very quickly, which makes it great for beef jerky. Okay, so we're still plugging away at cutting up the eye of round. So I'm just cutting it into little strips, or long strips. Well, I got about half of it. I still got another big half there. I'm gonna go get this all cut up and keep it away from the dogs who think it's going to be a treat for them. And we get this finished cut up, and I'll go put together the little marinade stuff and go through that. And it sits in the fridge for about a day or two, or when I remember it, 5 days, I don't know. But we'll get it in the dehydrator, and about 8 hours later, 6 hours later, we'll have jerky. All right, so we've got our eye of round all cut up. I've got 2 different bowls of it, so I'm going to do 2 different kinds of a marinade or rub or whatever, or not a rub, brine, marinade, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so just got finished cutting up our eye of round in nice little strips, and I got 2 bowls of it, so we're going to do 2 different kinds of marinade. Let it soak in the fridge for about a day or so before we pull it out and put it in the dehydrator. And what we've got up here, I've got one of them's going to have some Saigon sizzle. We got the garlic. One of them is going to have this Blueberry Bourbon BBQ sauce, and we get this from some folk that are in this area, Flat Tire Farms. So whenever we see them in town, they're vendors. Whenever we see them, I like to pick up a big jar of this because this is good stuff. We got some of our own birch syrup, so right from our own birch trees. I got some. This is an apple honey rub from Traeger. That's pretty good. I got some onion powder, a little bit of rosemary, some blackstrap molasses. We'll put in there some kosher salt, some black pepper, and we start with. I got a cup of soy sauce in here, and a cup of Where's Your Sister sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, or what? Yeah. Anyways, got that right there. So we're gonna start by throwing this in the bag. A lot of meaty goodness. The other bowl is minus a mouthful because our dog Hope seems to think that anything left on the table is hers, and was up there as soon as I turned my back and got herself a mouthful of it. So she is not the favorite dog right now. take this. I'm going to add this one. I will add blueberry to. I never do this the same way twice. So, what was that? So it was blueberry sauce, blueberry bourbon sauce, a little bit of molasses. Let's run it. And a little bit of rosemary. So these I never do the same thing twice. I have no idea. No idea how I did the last batches. But they always turn out pretty good. A little bit of garlic. And a little bit of salt. Not much because that soy sauce will give a pretty good salt content. Big pepper. And another whisk thing. Uh-oh. The molasses all went straight down to the bottom. Oh, and the garlic. You take and pour that in there. A little, ooh, that's a big blueberry right there. Big old blueberry. Water in there. Okay, that's one bag done. Okay, so mix up batch number 2. We got about a cup of the Where's Your Sister sauce, about a cup of the soy sauce. Excuse me. This one, I had some of the Saigon Sizzle. I did that last time with the batch and it turned out really good. And we'll just kill the bottle. Come over here and get some water in there. And the dogs are being knuckleheads. Go ahead and dump that in there right now. It smells good. This bag's going to be a little bit smaller. Okay, so the soy sauce, the Where's Your Sister sauce, the Saigon Sizzle in here. I'm going to dump this right now because I'm out of room. And then we'll add, oh, you know what? I'll add that much because now what I forgot to add in the other, I'll add to this, our birch syrup. I'll have to go back in there and add a little bit of birch syrup in there. Come on. Do this without dumping it. There we go. Oh yeah. That'll be good. A little bit of the onion powder. And I think with the Saigon Sizzle there's probably enough what you call it, garlic. I'll think that's all I'm going to put in this one. Add that there. A little bit more water. Pinch these bags closed and get out as much air as I can. Dumping stuff all over the place. All right. I'm going to let this sit for overnight, maybe through tomorrow. And I'm going to add some of that birch syrup to this one. And we'll stick it in our dehydrator. Now, if you use birch syrup for anything, don't give it to your animals. Don't give it to your dogs. This stuff will kill dogs dead. The birch syrup, birch sugar, it's not good for the dogs, whether they like it or not. So we make this stuff, we just we make sure the doggos don't get any of it. Which makes them totally unhappy. Mark this with the side on sizzle. In there. And now we play the waiting game.
All right, thanks for coming and being with us today. Today we are actually getting ready to finish up our beef jerky, and we have two different kinds. We have one that we use a blueberry bourbon sauce with, from some people who we have met from Flat Tire Farms out of Willow, Alaska. We've seen them at a couple different expos, and Willow has a really nice farmer's market that they're usually at as well. And since we tried this blueberry bourbon barbecue sauce 2 years ago, every time we can get a hold of it, we actually keep extra on hand. But they make this homemade. And so we have the blueberry bourbon, and then one that we also added Saigon Sizzle. And if you've been following us, Derek showed you how he mixed everything up. We don't have a recipe that we stick to each time. Each time it gets changed up just a little bit. And even the meat we use sometimes is a little bit different. Right now what we're using is eye of round, which works really good for jerky. We've also used chuck roast, which works really good for jerky as well. There's a lot of different cuts of meat that work well for jerky. You can turn almost anything into a jerky. We've also made jerky out of salmon. So there's so many different things you can make with the jerky. But this will actually help preserve it so that we can put it in bags, and then we'll have it throughout the next upcoming months for snacks, or if we're going to the mountains, or if there's hunting or fishing going on. It's things that you can put in the vehicle and bring along with you that's high protein for the cold temperatures that we have. So high protein, high energy, and for the calories that you're going to burn off just being out there in these temperatures and doing what you're doing. So that's what we're doing. We've had this marinated for 2 days. So I'm going to show you the next step. The next step is basically I'm going to empty each bag into a colander, and we're going to drain it really good. The next step is we're preparing the meat to go into the dehydrator, and we want to get as much of that wetness now off the meat. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to pour it into the colander. We're going to strain it really good and get as much of the liquid off that way. And then as I set it out on the trays, I'm going to take some paper towel back and just pat it dry as well to help absorb some additional juice that is coming off from that. And then we will put this in the dehydrator at about 165, and it will take between 6 and 8 hours. Some of the thinner pieces will be done in 6 hours. Some of the thicker pieces may take closer to 8 hours. But here we go. So we're gonna start with the Blueberry Bourbon, and I'm starting with the Blueberry Bourbon just because we have more of that, and I want to make sure I get the most into the dehydrator the first time, which that won't be an issue. I might be able to fit all of this into the dehydrator at the same time. But once I put it into the colander, I let it drain. I do kind of move it around because sometimes when it's been clumped up in that bag, it'll kind of give it different pockets that will hold on to the juice in the colander. And then when you go to take the meat out on the other side for the trays, you know, it'll let go of a little pocket of juice. So I just kind of move it around and make sure, you know, that we've got everything, you know, all the big pockets have been able to lose the juice. And we have strips that are going to look like this. And again, this is eye of round. For those that are, whether you're familiar with eye of round or not, eye of round is kind of striated, almost like a corned beef. But these strips make it perfect when you cut it up, just to make some nice jerky strips. And this winter, we've actually had a lot of jerky. I've helped with the jerky a lot in the past, especially with the dehydrating side. And one of our daughters who lives here loves the jerky. So when she comes, she almost always goes looking for it in the cupboard. So I'm going to go ahead and let that set for 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure any last little pockets of juice, we can get that drained off, and then we'll be right back, and I'll show you how we're going to arrange it on the dehydrator trays. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take our strips of the brined eye of round, and we're going to place them on our dehydrator trays. I have a dehydrator from Cabela's that has 10 trays. Typically, I can usually get this, all the meat we do on 10 trays, but this eye of round was a little bit larger, so I'm not exactly sure if I'll be able to get them all done in the first round. If not, then when it's done, we'll run a second batch. And so basically, I'm going to take these strips, and I'm just going to line them up. Many of them have been cut in the same length as best as you can, but I try to put like sizes together. And like these, we do have some smaller ones, so then I'll put these along the bottom, but I still leave some space between them, usually about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, because you just want the airflow to go through the trays so that you can get that really nice dehydrated end product. If they're twisted, I do untwist them and put them out as flat as possible. All right, so for instance, this is what the first tray looks like. And then I keep some paper towel on hand because what I'm gonna do is after I have a tray complete, I'm just gonna go back through. I'm gonna pat this dry. And also, you may have noticed that I set the colander over here just on a towel. That way, if it does drip at all, I'm not gonna end up with a wet mess on the countertop. But I use a towel that I don't have to worry about staining, and I can easily just throw it in the laundry afterwards. So I just patted that dry. Then I'm gonna set this aside until I get 4 or 5 trays, and then I'll take it back to the dehydrator because I have that in the pantry. And don't worry if you hear the puppy in the background. He's barking because I just gave them all their breakfast. And because he has a tendency of trying to run to everybody's dish, he is in the kennel getting fed so that he doesn't eat everybody else's food. And he always eats just as fast as he can. So he's usually the first one done, but he does have to wait until the others are done before he can get out, because he's going to run straight to where their bowls are to see if there's anything left. But he's not hurt. He's definitely well taken care of. He just thinks that everybody's breakfast is supposed to be his. And there's our second tray. It's looking pretty awesome, and it's smelling really, really nice as well. I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside, finish putting these on the trays, and then I will show you what we're gonna do next as far as setting up the dehydrator and getting them going in the dehydrating process. Okay, I have the Blueberry Bourbon jerky all on the trays. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trays, and they were all full. And I have 3 trays left. So I'm going to try to fit the Saigon Sizzle jerky in there as well. I'm going to go ahead and get this straining, and then I'll take you back and show you how we're going to get the dehydrator all set up and place everything in the dehydrator. Also, as I go along, I do like to have a system in place so that I don't leave a lot of dirty things behind. I like to keep things clean as I go along. So, like that first round, I was able to take care of the towel. I was able to take care of all the paper towels, wipe everything down, and literally go right into getting ready for this second batch. It makes it go faster. It's cleaner. It makes you feel good. So when you're all done, by the time you're all done, you don't end up with a pile of this and that, to take care of all at the same time. So come with me, and we're going to go ahead and go to the dehydrator. All right. So we're going to go ahead and walk down to our pantry. I've explained before that our kitchen is extremely small. We have a very small galley kitchen in the log cabin style home. And so I've made this walk-in pantry. And this is also where we will do our dehydrating. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. I do need to pull this buffet out from the wall. It has to be out at least a foot from the wall because the fan is in the back. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. All right, and as I stated before, we have a 10 tray deluxe dehydrator from Cabela's, and the kids got this for me for Christmas a couple years ago, and we've put it to really, really good use. Basically with this, it's pretty standard. You click the button to turn it on. I'm going to use the highest setting. With the meat we're trying to dehydrate, we want it about, they say 160, 165. The highest setting on here is 160, so we're going to go with that to get it started. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the trays in. And we're going to dehydrate this. We're going to set the timer for about 6 hours. We'll check it. And if any of the jerky is ready to come out at that time, we'll take it out, take the pieces out that are ready. And like I said, some of the larger, thicker pieces may take a little bit longer. This pantry usually stays pretty cold. I have a thermometer in here that keeps track of the temperature as well as the humidity, and I keep it right about 55 degrees in here. And right now I've had the door open, so I've got to get that closed because it's showing 35% humidity and 64 degrees. So once we get everything in there, it will start getting humid in there because it's a dehydrator. But it will be fine for while we're doing what we're doing. And I know you do see a lot of things along the way. We're still redoing some things, and we got more snow, so some of this stuff we just keep right here where it's readily accessible. But we're gonna go ahead and get the second batch set up on the trays, and then get that put in the dehydrator, and I'll bring you along when we check it in about 6 hours. All right, so I have turned off the dehydrator because our 6 hour timer did go off. I've actually already checked it, but our jerky is actually already done. And this is what the thinner pieces are looking like. They're nice. And they're dehydrated, yet they still have that jerky flexibility as well. And then some of the thicker pieces. Let's see, here's some of the thicker pieces. Down here, this is definitely ready as well. So we're going to go ahead and take these all out and get them bagged up. All right, so I have brought all the trays back out to the butcher block counter. And what I'm going to do is bag each type, each flavor of jerky separately. I just took some gallon-sized bags and then I labeled them with the flavor that's going to be in that bag. We have actually used our vacuum sealer for this before, but sometimes the sharper edges seem to puncture the plastic. And we're using Food Saver brand. We actually tried the Lem brand once last year and went right back to the Food Saver. Not that Lem isn't good, but for what we were using it for, it was still doing the same thing. This jerky is going to be ate so fast that there's no reason for us to go ahead and use the other bags to preserve it for a longer period of time right now. Now, if it were earlier in the fall and this, you know, we're preserving this for like hunting season, things like that, I would go ahead and do some up. That way we have, you know, the freshness, and we know that it's preserved for long term. But I know this is going to get ate up pretty quick. So we have 7 trays of with the Blueberry Bourbon BBQ sauce. And then right now we have three trays, excuse me, with the Saigon Sizzle. We still have 3, possibly 4 more trays to do of the Saigon Sizzle. But I only have 10 tray capacity, and so the dehydrator was full. So now, once I get these in bags, I'll go ahead and get these trays cleaned up and we'll get the rest put in. It will take at least 6 hours for the rest of the jerky to finish. But we'll bring you along for that as well. And we hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, this is the Blueberry Bourbon BBQ, and I'm just gonna start putting it inside the bag. And before I came back with you, I washed my hands. I'm constantly washing my hands in between steps and with everything that goes on. But it just fits really nice in the bag. And I'll go ahead and continue to do this until I have everything in the bag. And I do apologize. I'm still getting over this sinus cold, so I have lots of congestion again. It seems like we can't kick these viruses that are going around this year. And as soon as we get one, we seem to be sharing another one. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up with this. And then I'll bring you guys back as we get the dehydrator filled with the rest of the trays. All right, so I have loaded up 2 trays, or 1 full tray and 1 partial, for the rest of the jerky with Saigon Sizzle, which is like a stir-fry mixture. And we used to buy that a lot when the kids were younger. And we had talked about it for a couple months and ended up finding it for sale here. But I'm going to go ahead and get those 2 trays put in. Same thing. I'm going to put this on 160 degrees. And we're actually going to set the timer for about 5 hours just because there's only 2 trays in there. So there's going to be more air circulating. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'll check it in about 5 hours and I'll bring you along at that point.